Do you love TV shows? We do too. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Anna, and we're the hosts of We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, a podcast hosted by us, a married couple with an endless love for TV.
Whether you're searching for a new favorite series or ready to revisit an old classic, we're here to guide you through an infinite world of TV shows.
Each episode, we watch and discuss the pilot for shows, while also sharing personal stories that parallel the storyline.
So if you're tired of endlessly scrolling and not sure what to watch next, tune in and let us do the searching for you.
We Judge a Show by Its Pilot. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Your new favorite show is just one click away. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our pod.
Hi. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Well, today is a special day because the day that this episode comes out, you're going to be getting 2 episodes in one day. So
fancy.
You get a little double feature.
Little double dose.
We originally, I think we just...
2 for Tuesday.
I think we skipped a week, and then we skipped a day, and then we were like, okay, well, we still need to release 2 in one day because the very first episode, and by the time you hear this, will be a week away, so it won't be that big of, it's not that big of a deal, but... our first episode of June will be our 100th episode.
One hundo,
and about a year, and almost a year since we released our first episode. We've been working on this pod for over a year, but since March of 2024, pretty much is when we initially really started to
plan and think of ideas,
right? And build the brand, as they say. But yeah, I can't believe it's 100 episodes. I can't believe it's been a year. We have stuck with it. There are days where we don't necessarily feel like recording. There are days where I don't necessarily feel like editing, but the finished product I'm always proud of, and at the end of the day, we genuinely enjoy doing this.
Yeah, I love listening to it in the car, and I'll download an episode to listen to when I'm on a plane or something. So I listen to it myself.
Oh, you do? Oh, that's cute. Yeah. I after I'm done editing, I'm like, I don't want to hear my voice anymore. So
you do a lot with that. So I'm not on that end of it hearing, but I like hearing our finished product and seeing what we talked about and going, I forgot to say this. Or I should have said this.
That happens every single time I'm editing. I'm like, oh, I forgot to talk about this, or I forgot to bring this up. And so I kind of just like make a mental note. And I'm like, well, I'm sure we'll bring up a similar topic at some point. I'll manage to squeeze it in. I think there was one show that we did where I wanted to talk about video games, and it ended up not happening, and then we just did Castlevania where I got to talk about video games for like 5 solid minutes.
Yeah.
So
I talked about my favorites, and then you have way more experience with that, so you definitely took over that one.
Speaking of video games, the show that we are doing today, I did not realize until I did the episode and series information, so I typed up this episode and series information, that this show that we're doing today is based off of a video game. As well, so it kind of also Castlevania and this show Arcane are going to come out on the same day, both based on video games. That was unintentional, but it ends up working out.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, we watched Arcane, which it was a huge deal when it first came out on Netflix. Everyone was raving about it, talking about how cool it was, and Maddie, my daughter, she really likes it, and she would always talk about it, and so we're really excited to talk about this one. We got some fun topics to discuss, but first, I just had a little brain fart, but first, Anna is going to do what she always does and give us some episode and series information.
All right, Arcane, welcome to the playground. Arcane was an animated steampunk action-adventure series that premiered on Netflix on November 6, 2021, and the second and final season premiered on November 23rd, 2024. The series ran for just 2 seasons and has a total of 18 episodes. Total easy watch. The series was created and developed by Christian Link and Alex Yee and is loosely based off of the video game League of Legends, a multiplayer online battle arena video game originally released by Riot Games. The pilot was written by Link and Yee, and every episode of Season 1 was directed by Pascal Charoux and Arnaud Delord. Arcane centers around the twin cities of Piltover, a utopian-like city for the privileged, and Zaun, an underground seedy city for the oppressed. The series focuses on two sisters, V and Powder.
It's Vi.
Oh, I was wondering if I as soon as I said it, I was like, that's not it.
I had to YouTube it right before we recorded, and I had to hear how they pronounce it, and it's Vi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who find themselves in the middle of all the chaos. The cast of characters introduced in season 1 includes Vi, a short-tempered, strong-willed Zaunite, voiced by Haley Steinfeld.
Sinners.
Love her. Pitch Perfect. I was in a movie with her.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Powder, Vi's unpredictable, chaotic younger sister. Young Powder is voiced by Mia Sinclair Jenis, and Ella Purnell voices Powder as an adult.
That's Jackie from Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. JC Tallis, a scientist and inventor, voiced by Kevin Alejandro. Caitlin, a Piltover enforcer, voiced by Katie Leung, also known as Cho Chang from the Harry Potter movie series.
I know you don't watch Harry Potter, but Harry Potter fans will know. Yeah.
Victor, JC's research assistant, voiced by Harry Lloyd, also known as Viserys Targaryen from GOT, Game of Thrones. Daenerys's brother.
He got the golden crown.
He got the golden crown. I want my crown. He got it from Khal Drogo.
That was such a badass scene.
Mel, a Piltover council member, voiced by Tox Olugundoy. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Vander, Vi and Powder's adopted father, voiced by J.B. Blanc. Echo, a friend of Vi and Powder's, voiced by Reed Shannon. Young Echo is voiced by Miles Brown.
And that's the youngest son from Blackish.
Oh,
and
okay.
he was Louis Armstrong in Drunk History.
Oh, yeah.
We're coming.
Yeah, I love him. The series became an instant hit, setting records on Netflix for being the #1 most watched original series on Netflix in 52 countries within a week of its premiere. The show has been praised for its unique style of animation and steampunk aesthetic. Fans and critics have also commended the show for its voice acting, character development, and for showing the right way to adapt a video game into another medium. Arcane went on to win 4 Emmys, including Outstanding Animated Program. It currently holds a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and has a 9 out of 10 on IMDb rankings, ranking it at number 25 in the top 250 TV shows.
I want to say that's the highest ranked show for this month.
Oh, okay.
I feel like there was one that was number 21, but I might be mixing stuff up.
Of our adult animation shows?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, adult animation kind of takes up a lot of the top 250. Like Rick and Morty is up there, BoJack is on there, like a lot of Death Note is on there, Attack on Titan is on there. BoJack's not on there. That's a lie. But yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. And you can currently watch the entire series on Netflix.
All right, so what did you think of the pilot? So we talked in the Castlevania episode that we weren't sure if we were going to do this show because it was one of those things that we do this sometimes when we're like we need to finish watching our shows, and we'll kind of watch a bunch of them in one day, especially when it's late at night. The last one we watch, it's always the one that we're kind of like, which one was that? Like, because it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It had to have been 1 o'clock. It was really late. I think I had to get up and go to work that next morning. And we were just like, what was that? We got maybe like 5 minutes into it. We're like, oh, I remember. We were just
exactly.
Like, yeah.
As soon as it started and I saw all
Once
the
it got
characters,
going, yeah.
I was like, okay, I remember this one now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, some of them do sort of start streaming together in your head because of the visuals and stuff. It's all animation, so it's sometimes hard to delineate between them in that sense. But yeah, once it started and I started seeing the characters and what was happening, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. And I know that this is one that Maddie watched, and she likes it. Mm-hmm. So I think that was another reason we were interested in watching it. And it's only 18 episodes, so I mean, I think we'll finish it. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was good. It introduced the sisters and their friends and the other people that are involved. The two,
just kind of the world itself,
right? The upper and lower and all of that. So yeah, I mean, it was a good intro into, I guess, the series. And I, of course, as you know, do not play a lot of video games,
Yeah.
or any.
I was looking up League of Legends on the PS app, hoping that it was included in my PS subscription, and it's not. So I had to pay for it. But yeah, I was just curious to see. See, yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I thought I like that. Not every show we've done, because there's that. The Simpsons and Futurama, because it's Matt Groening. The animation is very similar. And then Death Note is kind of its own thing. Like, I think a lot of the shows that we've done this month all have very different animation styles. And this one felt, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the newest one that we've done. This show came out in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the newest one that we've done. It only came out 4 years ago. The animation was really cool. I liked how it felt like motion capture. It kind of felt more, three-dimensional. It felt a lot more realistic. There were moments where I was like forgetting that it was animation, which I think that you kind of do a really good job when you successfully do that.
Yeah.
I kind of kept forgetting. I'm like, oh yeah, this is animated. Like, I knew it was animated. I wasn't like being tricked. It was just like, I kept being like, oh, I kept forgetting that. I just kept forgetting it was animated because it was just so realistic looking. I really liked the voices. I really liked all the voice acting. I thought everyone did a really good job with that. It's really funny to hear Haley Steinfeld do a voice because it's Haley Steinfeld. We just watched Sinners. That movie was absolutely incredible. So like, I still have that voice in my head, and I'm just like, oh, she's sounding younger because it's older, and she was younger, but she's trying to sound younger. But also hearing, of course, Shori Agudashlu's voice as the Grayson, as the guard, or whoever it is, the informant, or whoever it is, hearing her voice and kind of just knowing that it was Miles Brown doing the voice of young Echo. I'm like, oh, I hear it now. Like, I was just like, I hear him. Knowing all of this, watching it the second time, because we ended up rewatching this not last night, but the night before. 2 nights ago?
Yes, it was 2 nights ago.
And yeah, and kind of just getting a refresher, because we originally were going to record it, but I was just like, we were like, no, we need to rewatch this, because we're going to say, what did you think of the pilot? And we're not going to be able to talk about it because we kind of sort of forgot. But as soon as, like we said, as soon as it started, we started remembering everything. So since it's 18 episodes, you keep watching just to see how it all plays out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And especially since Maddie liked it.
Yeah.
You know, she's talked about it. Y'all have talked about it together. So I think, she's also a TV junkie too. Mm-hmm. So I think it would just be something we could talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Okay, so this show centers around 2 sisters. We've done we've done some shows about like siblings. We've done the show Sisters, so we've done a lot of things about sisters, but what are some of your favorite like movies, TV shows that are about sisters?
Well, of course, we did Sisters, the TV show, in April for Anna Month, so that is always one of my favorite ones. I will also say I love the movie Sisters with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey.
That movie's hilarious. Movie is perfect.
I can watch it anytime. I love it.
Same.
I'm going to go totally, since we're doing adult animation, I'm going to go kid animation and go Anna and Elsa.
Oh, Frozen.
Yeah. Gotta go. The sisters. Because Anna is the better sister.
She is.
She saved Elsa. People forget that. I'm just saying. I'm going to also...
Not all heroes wear capes.
Correct. I'm going to go Arya and Sansa Stark.
That's a good one.
Since, again, we talked about Viserys.
I have GOT on my list, too.
And those are probably, like, in my top. I mean, there are always just other...
I know one that you forgot to name.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to...
Little Women.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I love Little Women.
Yeah.
That's true. I love the sisters. So, sorry about that. I forgot, y'all.
It's okay.
Beth.
We're okay. The March sisters will forgive you.
The March sisters. Okay. Joe, I'm sorry I forgot you. Beth.
So, one that I love, it's a horror film. It's about 2 sisters, ginger snaps.
Oh, okay.
I absolutely love that movie, and I loved their Catherine Isabel and Emily Perkins. I loved their dynamic. They are Canadian scream queens. They are horror royalty. The original Beverly Marsh, Emily Perkins, and Catherine Isabel. She's been in a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I love that it's a whole take on this combination of puberty and transforming into a werewolf, and how they kind of went hand in hand, and how like it's a very like empowering movie. It was a movie that was really ahead of its time when it came to toxic masculinity, and how girls are branded, sluts for doing the same things that guys are doing, and kind of the unfair double standard that is amongst genders. Very ahead of its time in that way. Another one is The Virgin Suicides.
Oh,
I
yes.
love the book, love the movie.
Yes.
One of my favorite books, one of my favorite movies. A movie I have not seen in a really long time. There is a reason. It's a very sad, bleak, depressing movie, but it is so insanely good. Kirsten Dunst, AJ Cook, Josh Hartnett, Giovanni Ribisi narrates it. Like it's Sofia Coppola directed it. We just watched The Last Showgirl last night.
So good.
Directed by Gia Coppola. So very similar vibe. Very similar vibe. That was a really good movie too. A movie we watched recently, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, okay.
Two Sisters. I love that movie.
Yep.
We don't need to get too detailed in that because we might be doing that soon.
Oh.
And then
teaser
for shows, we just did the show this month, but I gotta give love to the two Belcher sisters, Louise and Tina from Bob's Burgers.
Another animated.
Yeah, I gotta throw that in there. I love Tina. I love Louise. I love Gene, but he's a brother, so it's not the same. But like, I love. I just love I love sibling dynamics, just period, on TV shows and movies. I love how they interpret it, portray it differently in different things. I think you and I both have very unique relationships with our sisters.
Well, that's
they're kind of our own thing, and
and I think that's why I'm drawn to those sibling relationships, because we talk a lot about how different ours was growing up. Like, you're close in age to your siblings, and I am not, and so when people talk about their sibling relationships, I sometimes am like, I didn't have that. Or you're the same.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, that wasn't mine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're all different, of course. So yeah.
Right. And just for a little nostalgia, I gotta go with the sisters from Charmed, the original Charmed. Gotta go with
the
that.
Hallowells.
Great show. I never watched it. I never watched it like in chronological order. I watched it in reruns on TNT, but I really liked it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. All right, so when we were watching this, the first and second time we were watching this, we both commented on we liked the music in Arcane.
I really liked it.
The theme song is by Imagine Dragons. I don't remember the name of the song. And then there was another song. It's called Welcome to the Playground, the episode title.
Yeah.
By a girl named B Miller. I don't know if it's Bia or B. And we both love music. We're both big music lovers. I would say you and I have a very wide variety of taste with music. We don't just stick with one genre. We kind of have our genres of preference, but I think that when we both have a playlist going, there's no consistency in genres. We just like something. We just like what we like. Yeah. And there's no like specific genre that
I like what I like.
I like what I like. And so that kind of got me thinking. And it's actually surprising that I never came up with this question before, but I'm glad I didn't, because we get to do it for this episode. What are some of your favorite like music moments from a show? Like when a song kind of amplified the scene, or when it kind of like a memorable music moment from a TV show, specifically a TV show.
All right. So my first one, I will go with American Horror Stories Coven, Seven Wonders by Stevie Nicks.
Oh, that's a good one.
I loved it. I can watch that scene over and over and over again. I love it. Glee, Don't Stop Believin'.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
classic.
Journey is just classic. My sister's era, my era. And when that song comes on, it just pulls you in, and that pulled you into Glee like right from the start.
Yep, sure did.
I've talked about this show. We will likely do it one day, and it is The Last of Us, the long, long time from the 3rd episode of the 1st season.
Okay.
It's the one with Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman.
I keep saying Ken Offerman. It's Nick Offerman. I don't know why I keep doing that. I love that. It just really fit the entirety of the episode.
Yeah.
And so I just love it. It's sort of a little melancholy-ish, but I just loved it. I thought it fit that episode.
I love me a Mopey song.
Yeah, and and it's the title of that episode too. So I just loved it for that. This is one, I don't know if you're gonna have it. Running Up That Hill, Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah, I had it, but I knew one of us was gonna bring it up, so I didn't even write it down.
I just burst into tears during that
Words
episode.
cannot express the feelings we were feeling the first time we watched that episode.
Oh my God.
I forgot to breathe when
Yeah,
we
I
were
just
watching
was
that.
My heart was racing. It was hurting.
Yeah.
It was crying. It was like,
Oh, we rewound it and rewound it. We kept playing it. We were just like, it was so good.
and it was so perfect in that
Yes.
scene. So I love that. That one totally just
and it completely
takes your breath away.
repopularized.
Oh yeah,
that
she
song,
made
too.
millions
Yeah.
after that on downloads. Yeah, so she was just like, all right, well, thank you, Stranger Things, Duffer Brothers, for wanting that in. And then
such a good one.
most recently, and this is sort of classic for kind of something that has happened in the news lately. Someone said that she was no longer hot. Taylor Swift's Look What You Made Me Do on the most recent episode of The Handmaid's Tale. It was her Taylor Swift version from her Reputation album, the song Look What You Made Me Do. It opened up the most recent episode. So it was a perfect song for that episode, for her, and for the time. So when that episode started and I heard those beats, I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I wrote your name down. I underlined it in red and yeah, we're down. I got your name. So those are some of my favorites.
Well,
I'm sure there are a million more.
Oh, there are so many. I have to stop typing them because I was typing because you made me think of some while you were talking.
Well, you go then.
So just to piggyback off of Handmaid's Tale, I have 2 for Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on here before. My all-time favorite band is Radiohead.
Oh yeah.
I am a very typical millennial. I love Radiohead. I love their music. My favorite song by Radiohead is Street Spirit, and it's from the Bends. It is such a powerful song. It plays at the end of an episode of Handmaid's Tale when June and Janine and other handmaids are escaping from the van and they cross the railroad tracks and it's all in slow motion. And that song is just, and that's a song that builds, it just keeps getting more and more. And by the end of it, I was just like, I'm a big old tenderoni. I was just crying, and also it was the death of one of my favorite characters, Alma. So I was just like, I was just like,
yes.
I think I literally reached for the TV when that happened.
And for a song to do that too, I mean, the whole scene was really we knew something bad was happening, but then that music just builds on it even more so, which just rips your heart out.
Yeah.
So that was just. Yes, I remember that scene for you. You were just like, no. So yeah.
And then a more recent episode. So one of the episodes from the last season, from this most recent season of Handmaid's Tale, which is their final season, they were getting ready for the rebellion. They're getting all the weapons ready, and the national anthem by Radiohead plays, and it is and as soon as it started, I went, and you're like, "Who is this?" I'm like, Radiohead.
And I don't even know why I asked.
Yeah.
I knew by your
gasped,
reaction it was them.
And it's such and what I loved about it is, first of all, it's called the national anthem, which is hilarious, ironic, not hilarious, ironic, and it's a very chaotic song. There's just a lot. It starts off as kind of like a rock song, and then it goes into a jazz song, and then it just kind of goes into an instrumental, and it's just very chaotic. And that whole this whole season has been very chaotic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, like, it just very much fit. But it was one of those things where, like, I was like, oh, we're gonna get to that one part in the song where the jazz band just starts riffing, and it's gonna start like, it's gonna start like making my heart race because it's such a chaotic song. But it was such a fitting song for that scene. And apparently another Radiohead song played at the end of that one of the episodes, Burn the Witch, but I didn't hear it. So
okay.
we usually don't watch the closing credits. They never do like a next time on Handmaid's Tale.
Correct.
So we usually just kind of turn off the credits. So I would say one of the first TV shows, if not the first TV show, to really cross over kind of putting mainstream music into TV shows was Scrubs. For me, at least, was Scrubs.
Oh, okay.
One of the very first episodes of Scrubs, I believe it's episode 4, they play Hallelujah, the famous song by, I think, John Cale sang it in that version. It's been Rufus Wainwright sang it, like it's Pentatonics has sang it, like everyone has covered that song. But it was just the first 3 episodes of Scrubs are very like comedy heavy, very funny. And then episode 4 is called My Old Lady, where Turk, JD, and Elliot all admit a patient, and the whole thing is like every patient, other than like certain departments, one out of every 3 patients that's admitted to in a hospital is going to die. That's like the statistic. Outside of like OBGYN and like ICU and stuff like that, and pediatrics, like other than that, like just general admission, 1 out of 3 is going to die. I mean, it's such an old episode. It's 25 years old. I think I could talk about it.
Yeah.
But all 3 patients end up dying.
Oh,
so
okay.
you think you're like, which one's gonna pass away? So it's like, one is this old lady who she doesn't want to go on dialysis again. She was the older woman, the older lady in Desperate Housewives. I know she was on that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the actress's name, but she was this old lady that was basically like, I'm ready to die. Like, she was like,
Yeah,
you know,
like, stop.
she's like,
Yeah.
I've lived my life. I've been all over the world. And JD's like trying to convince her, like, no, she's just like, I've lived a great life. I have beautiful children. They have grandchildren. I've got to see them all grow up. Like, I'm ready to go. So it was like this really kind of beautiful, like this old lady is like helping JD. Like,
She's making it okay
she's
for him.
making it okay for him. And then with Elliot, it was this woman who spoke Spanish, and she had to have Carla like help her like translate. And it was one of those things where it was like she was kind of on her own, and she kind of had to make a big decision, and it was like really scary for her because, you know, they're still interns, and the fact that we leave our lives into interns sometimes is like a really mind-blowing thing. It's we just think of them as our doctor, you know. We don't think like they've been doing this for less than a year, you know. We don't think about that.
Yeah.
And
They
so
haven't started paying their
so it
student
was
loans
kind of
yet.
like her way of like being more decisive. And then Turk, it was a teenager who had some type of tumor somewhere, and I forgot where it was, but it was like Turk. The whole stereotype of the surgeons was like they don't really get close to the patients. They just do their job, and then the patients leave, and then it's the internal doctors, JD and Elliot, that get close to the patients. But this was the first patient that like Turk got close to, because he was like a teenager. He watched sports. They kind of had like a lot in common. And so, and then they all end up, and the whole time that they're like tending to the patients, Hallelujah is playing in the background. And it's just like, and then you hear the flat line, and you see them all turn around, and then you cut to the next scene, and they're all telling the families that they passed away,
I remember you showing me this scene.
And it's just like, I just remember like watching it and just being like, this is the greatest show of all time. I was just like, this is the best show. I love a show that can make you laugh and cry in the same episode. Like, I will always love those types of shows.
And that draws out those emotions.
Right.
Because that's, I think, a very big challenge is like, you've got to reach the audience, and music can really do that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then probably one of the most famous episodes of Scrubs with Brendan Fraser's character.
Oh my gosh.
Winter by Joshua Radin plays during his funeral, and it is a gut punch.
I was just saying, like, just rip your chest out.
They managed to create the most likable character ever. I mean, Ben, it was so weird and so funny, and like everyone loved him and everyone wanted to be friends with him, and you know, he just wasn't meant to be on this earth for very long, but he touched everyone that he was around, and that's, you know, he left an impact on everybody. And then there's one last one, How to Save a Life by The Fray. That was another kind of it got really intense on Scrubs, kind of unexpectedly, and I think that's a very self-explanatory kind of song. But then I will say American Horror Story Freak Show, where Jessica Lange sings Gods and Monsters by Lana Del Rey on the Halloween episode, where Wes Bentley comes back from the dead and he's like I'm gonna take a soul with me back to hell, and that song like conjures him. So while she's playing, like the fog rolls in and he like walks into the circus tent and like watches her, and there's like it's such a, and got all the band members playing in the background, like it's such a great scene. But yeah, those are mine. I, like you said, I'm sure there are so many more. I have more on here, but I'm not gonna get into all of it. I feel like I talked enough with Scrubs, so.
And those Scrub ones are good,
yeah.
Which is just, it's a show, obviously, that was rooted in comedy, but, I mean, in hospitals, people die, and so, like, how do you draw out those emotions? Music can do it, yeah. So that's kind of how I feel a lot of times with any show. It can make you happy and make you sad, yeah. I
agree. And another great music moment in a TV show, I Want It That Way on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That was the best. I mean, yes.
Are you ready to get into this plot summary?
Let's do it.
All right. Arcane pilot summary. And I almost said V. Young sisters Vi and Powder are seen amidst the aftermath of a devastating battle that took place upon the Bridge of Progress connecting Piltover and Zaun. Their parents' corpses lay among the fallen. Vander, who had led the Zaun revolutionaries into battle, takes pity on the two children and carries them to safety. A few years later, Vi leads Powder alongside their adoptive brothers Milo and Clagger on a heist that begins on the rooftops of Piltover. Powder, the youngest of the group, is afraid to jump a gap between buildings, but Vi reassures her that she's ready. Still, she nearly falters. They go to the balcony of an affluent Piltover penthouse, later revealed to be Jace's study. Vi forces the door open, and they begin filling a bag with whatever valuables they come across. Powder discovers a cache of what she doesn't recognize as hex crystals, but Jace arrives outside the entrance. Milo bars the door with a chair while Vi rushes the group to grab what they can and get out. Powder pockets the crystals but drops one in her haste. After rolling across the floor, it collides with the wall and shatters, resulting in a massive explosion that causes a portion of the outside wall to crumble and collapse onto the ground below. The children flee the scene, pursued by a squad of Piltover enforcers, though they make their escape by jumping into a garbage chute. On the way home, they're stopped by another group of urchins led by a young man named Deckard. Deckard insists they share some of the loot, but Vi swings the heavy bag of valuables into Deckard's face. She then tosses the bag to Powder while she, Milo, and Clagger engage in a fistfight with Deckard and his thugs. And this is when we began the conversation of, you never want to see me get into a fistfight.
Oh, no, I couldn't handle it, no.
And then I retorted with, I've never been in one, so I wouldn't know what to do, so I probably would just run away. And I don't want to go to jail. With the three of them distracted, one of the boys attempts to seize the bag from Powder, prompting her to run away on her own with the older boy in pursuit. Vi, Milo, and Clagger successfully defeat Deckard and the others, but Powder is backed into a dead end alone. She attempts to deploy a homemade grenade, which she calls Mauser, to halt her aggressor, but it ends up being a dud. Yeah, that scene was kind of funny.
Yeah.
She is ultimately forced to discard the bag of loot into the deep waters below to distract the boy while she escapes. Powder regroups with her siblings a short while later, where Milo laments the rotten luck of having lost their entire haul and accuses Powder of jinxing every job. They take an elevator down into Zaun and begin walking home. Meanwhile, Vander is tending bar at the last drop, where he lives with the 4 adopted children. He pours a pair of drinks for a patron named Huck, who sits down with a man named Vern and his associate Jules. Vern declares that his business with Huck is concluded and throws Huck a small sack of money. Huck is furious, stating that the sum is far less than they agreed. Vern insists that his price is fair, and Jules makes a show of intimidating Huck by brandishing a short blade. Vander intervenes, asserting that Jules and Vern were not allowed to leave his bar in one piece unless they honored their word to Huck. Vi, Powder, Milo, and Clagger arrive home moments later. Though Vi insists that Vander not learn of their failed heist, it becomes apparent that he already knows. Yeah, when you blow up a building, people are going to find out about it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get away with that one. Vander scolds Vi for her foolishness, reminding her that Piltover is off limits. After their heated argument, Vander tells the other kids to leave so he and Vi can speak privately. He reprimands Vi for not understanding the gravity of her leadership role in the family, saying that she is ultimately responsible for the fates of her younger siblings. Vi wants to stand up for Zaun, but Vander insists that meddling with Piltover will only lead to more problems. He tells her that she'll have to lay low for a while. Vander takes Clagger and goes to speak with Echo, or Little Man, who tipped Vi off to Jace's penthouse in the first place. Powder discovers that she still has several hex crystals in her pocket. She then overhears a conversation between Vi and Milo in which Milo belittles Powder again. However, Powder leaves before she can hear the next part of the conversation, in which Vi defends Powder and criticizes Milo's performance during the heist. Vander and Clagger arrive at Benzo's pawn shop where Echo works. Benzo tells Echo to step outside so he can speak with Vander. There, Clagger asks how Echo found Jace's penthouse, and Echo informs him that he followed Jace home after Jace had made some purchases at Benzo's shop. Two enforcers, Marcus and Grayson, suddenly approach from down the street. Clagger hastily leaves, and Echo acts naturally. The enforcers enter the shop and declare their intention to hunt down whoever caused the explosion. Benzo and Vander play coy, to which Marcus reacts angrily. Grayson, that's the one that's voiced by Shori Agadashlu.
Yeah.
Grayson tells Marcus to take a walk and cool off, and he does so. Echo climbs up to the building's second floor where he can spy on the ensuing conversation. He is surprised to learn that Grayson and Vander have a pre-established deal. Vander keeps his people off of Piltover streets, and in return, the enforcers stay out of his business. Grayson besieges Vander for information, saying that things will only escalate if she doesn't apprehend a suspect tonight, but Vander refuses. She gives him a capsule meant for a pneumatic messaging tube, saying it will reach her, and only her, if he changes his mind. Vi finds Powder brooding and berating herself for ruining everything. When Powder rejects Vi's attempts to comfort her, she brings Powder up to the roof and points out several locations around the city where Vi, Milo, and Clagger failed spectacularly in the past. Most notably, she points out her favorite childhood toy, a stuffed bunny hanging from a power line. She said they've all had bad days, but the important thing is that they learn and stick together. Powder reveals that she still has the hex crystals. Vi offers to keep their little secret. She ensures Powder that she's stronger than she thinks and that the city will someday respect them. Meanwhile, in a reclusive laboratory, Deckard is manhandled by a group of adult thugs. Silco criticizes the boy's performance, saying he was supposed to follow Vander's children without interfering. Deckard lies and says that he was the one ambushed. Deckard saves himself by revealing valuable information, that the children were behind the explosion in Piltover. The thugs escort Deckard away, leaving Silco alone with Singed. Silco asks for a demonstration of Singed's latest work, a bright purple liquid, later known as Shimmer. Singed places a cat inside the cage of a lab rat whose drinking water has been replaced with Shimmer. While the cat initially prowls, meaning to kill the smaller creature, the rat frantically drinks Shimmer and displays drastic physical changes. Its eyes turn purple and it grows dramatically in size, easily killing the cat in one swift blow, even cracking the cage glass in the process and splattering some blood. Saw that one.
Oh, yeah.
Singed asks if Silco has a subject mind, which Silco implies that he means to test Shimmer on Deckard further. End of episode. Yeah, I thought that's who they were referring to. I was like, I think they're talking about the blonde guy. But yeah, I didn't know his name was Deckard. Yeah, it was, I'm 18 episodes. I'll watch that. That's not a big commitment.
And I want to see what else happens with the Shimmer. Yeah.
Same. And there's a dynamic kind of shift between the two sisters at some point. I don't know everything for certain, but there's some conflict.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so it's on Netflix, 18 episodes. I recommend it. It's really cool. Once again, it's one of those shows. I think we also did a really good job of picking shows that, even if you don't watch animation, I think you would still like this.
Oh, definitely.
I think we did a good job picking those kind of shows, too. They weren't too, I think I originally wanted to put, Rick and Morty on here and some other ones, and we tried to watch them. We're like, we're not going to have anything to talk about.
No,
we're just
I think,
these shows are so wacky. But yeah, this was a good one. But yeah, so you think that wraps up this one?
Let's wrap it up.
Ramp it up. All right, that wraps up this episode of We Judge a Show by its pilot. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on whichever platform you're listening to this podcast on. That way you'll be notified every time we publish a new episode. You can follow us on Instagram at We Judge Pilot Pod. We're also on Facebook. You can leave us a comment, suggest a show for us to watch, or leave some emojis in the comments. What you got?
I have the diamond to represent the crystals, the bar, a mouse to represent the little thing that didn't blow up, the cat, the bottle, the bomb for the explosion, the garbage, the bridge. I think there's a grenade, the water, the wave to represent when they drop the thing into the water, the bag of cash, the bunny, the rat. And then there's like a test tube of liquid. I think it's green in the emojis, but we'll say it's purple. And then the blood emoji. All right. Well, we are going to head out, but we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.